Welcome back to Process Education. This is Ed. Today I'm going to be giving an update on Gevo. This is going to be a standalone DD nonetheless. I'm going to go through technical analysis, news, and everything in between. So this one's going to be very interesting. I have a surprise at the very end where I do something a little bit different than my usual format, and I hope that you find it productive. You can add your feedback down in the comments below to help this channel grow. Subscribe and leave your notifications on, and drop a like to help the algorithms to catch this channel. At any point, if you feel you're missing out on the technical indicators, you'll find a playlist in the description below to explain what each of these are and what they mean. Let's jump right into it. We get to see here on the 1 month Wednesday, the MACD seems to be curving down. Now, meanwhile, that is a bearish sign, but the last time it approached that kind of curve down, it did still see a jump. So I'm not going to give it very much of an interest on this one, but that's just something to keep in mind. On the ADX, this shows in a really bullish sign, and what this shows is it's a 37, and so there's a strong trend that is being formed. The William %R puts the stock at a neutral, so it's neither overbought or oversold, and so that's neutral news to us. Momentum seems to be still climbing up from what it was on the 27th, and it still seems to be a strong indication of a strong movement. Meanwhile, volumes have decreased down from what it was around 1.02 billion shares. It is right now at 43 million shares and still really high compared to other previous shares traded before the 19th. The stock is below the 200 SMA. Meanwhile, that is a bearish sign. It's really close to it and it's basically approaching it and going to cross it at some point if it stays on this course. The stock is above the 50 SMA in the purple line. I'm going to zoom in here so you can see the moving averages more clearly. The purple line, and that makes it bullish. The stock price is above the 10 SMA, which is bullish as well. 10 SMA is above 30 EMA, that is bullish, and it's above the trading action zone. So in case if it does actually dip, right away it becomes very highly that it would see a reversal going back to the positive side. That is amazing for us. It kind of adds an extra level of confidence to the stock. Moving on towards the 1 hour perspective, I'm not going to go so much in detail on the 1 hour perspective, but I'm going to zoom in so you can see everything. We get to see on the MACD it's decreasing a little, but that has no significance as the histogram on here is way less than the increase in stock. 10 SMA is above 30 EMA, but the moving averages are a little bit squished. Nonetheless, they're very bullish. So the stock is above the VWAP, 10 SMA is above 30 EMA, 50 stock price is above 50 SMA and 200 SMA. Bottom line, moving averages on the 1 hour are bullish. ADX supports the exact same thing it did on the 1 day. William %R seems to go from oversold to overbought. Momentum seems to be a little bit shaky, but still, I'll explain why that is the case. I've been watching this one very much closely for the last 2 days. On the moving averages, nothing significant here that I really care about. We get to see on supports and resistances. I'm going to go quickly through Fibonacci retracements to identify significant supports and resistance on the Fibonacci, and we see it's the $1.12 and the $1.33. So $1.12 is a support, $1.33 is a resistance, and $1.53 is a resistance. What are some significant resistances and supports? As a support, we have a 125. Below that, 124, 123, 120, 119, and then down to 111, 108, and $1. In terms of resistance, we have $1.28. I'm going to be doing price lines actually. Better. $1.35, $1.04, $1.47, $1.51, and above that, I'm gonna have to zoom back a little, somewhere around this area. $1.68, $1.71. Moving on. Over here, we look at news. And so, for the news here, one of the latest ones was a $400 million evaluation for this company. And what does that mean? So, I've gone on and I've got the outstanding shares, which is 75.73 million shares. Divide that by 400 million, that comes out at around $5.3 per share. That's a really nice valuation, in my opinion. Moving on, we see in terms of institutional values, nothing yet seems to be reported, although it could be something where they're taking less than 5% of a position, so I'm not going to give that much mind. Insider, nothing significant here. And this is the IP valuation for $400 million. Now, alright Ed, what is the buzz for this one? What's the next catalyst? Well, if you watched my last video, there is compliance that is almost reached out. So I'm going to refer to that in a minute, but first, let's take a little bit about news. So this company is working on biofuels. Now, not to take sides of politics or whatever, I don't care, I'm Canadian. But let's take a quick look on biofuels. And one of the most things that are being thrown around in the news has some interest to us. So Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden on Tuesday threw his support behind a U.S. law that requires oil refineries to blend biofuels into the nation's fuel pool. So that is something. Biofuels record growing demand in rural areas of DK. So that's in the Indian Times. You get to see global interest. Climate plan addresses potentials of biofuels and bioenergy. The Senate Democratic Climate Committee released a new report on August 25th that details how climate action by Congress can create new jobs and grow the U.S. economy. But the highlight of it is biofuels and bioenergy are among the topics discussed. Again, I don't care about politics, I'm just sharing news. Study finds advanced cellulosic biofuels show real promise for replacing some fossil fuels. HMM to test biofuels on its chips. So this is just news from the 25th and onwards. Some of the things that a lot of people are not talking about is the potential for future for this company. So Ed, how are you going to play this stock? I did have positions here and there, and I did play it and did scalp it and all that stuff, but there is strong interest for this stock. Now we are on day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 2 more days for compliance. We're going on strong above $1. Now, what's happening to the stock? It is forming walls between $1.20 and $1.30. And there's massive walls that you can check it on level 2. That means a lot of people are buying, a lot of people are selling at the same time. Or it could be just 2 people that are manipulating the stock. But my expectations is, as it reaches the compliance, as that news gets released, it's going to get a little bit of a dip. How big is that dip? I can't tell, but it might reach back to $1, and then here's the icing on the cake. Biofuels aren't so much demand. With the contract that this one has received around $1.5 billion, I do expect this one to see a really good long-term return, a long-term investment. Next quarter, definitely got to be exciting to hear about. So what you might consider doing is selling your position on the 10th day of the compliance. It dips down and you just short your own position, so you buy back cheaper. But this one is definitely a longer hold for me. It has a lot of interest for the stock. There's a lot of good news, and you look at where it was before. This company did a 1-in-20 split before. That was all the way back in 2018, but it's been trading above $2 for quite a bit, and almost up to $4. And before then, the company has a lot of history of biofuels and at recording decent balance sheets. What do you think about the sticker? Make sure you mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like, and you have a wonderful day.